Roblox ripoffs, right? Polytoria, Brick Hill, Opimo. Okay, it's not nice to call them ripoffs, but they were definitely inspired by the Roblox platform. And one of the more well-known ones, Brick Planet, turns 10 years old today. Created by a Roblox hacker or something, it's been shut down and brought back over the course of those 10 years, but it is technically still the same product. And originally, it went by the name Bloxcity, which is the version I remember from my childhood. Bloxcity was the first iteration of Brick Planet that was publicly released on March 6, 2016, and luckily enough, on that same day, I was browsing the now defunct Roblox forums where I saw people clowning on it. So, curiously, I decided to take a look at it. The main thing that struck me was how bland it was. It barely had anything. The catalog included a very small selection of items, which included a hat ripped straight off the random Blender asset site, and a crudely drawn face, which looks oddly familiar. The avatars were very cryptic forms of a Robloxian, and the only thing that was done about the project was its forms. I was most definitely clowning on the website with everybody else. I mean, the concept of a Roblox ripoff wasn't new, at least in the memory of the Roblox forums, so it was very easy to just make fun of it and move on. But for me, during the middle of it all, I had the vague idea that it was supposed to represent old Roblox. And me being in the middle of my first round of old Roblox nostalgia. I ate that shit up. A second attempt on the Roblox formula was a pretty damn good selling point for a 10-year-old. The game client didn't exactly exist at this point, I'd said before, but since I already loved using the Roblox forums, the Bloxcity forums essentially became my second home. And to highlight how much I enjoyed Bloxcity during this time, here's almost a dozen things I remember that I'll list in great succession. 1. The Roblox hacker guy I mentioned earlier was named Godfrey at this point in time, with the O replaced with a 0. Uh, I will always remember him as Godfrey. 2. 1 month after release, Godfrey wanted to make an Econ event. But since games didn't exist, he had to make do by making random eggs pop up randomly on each side of each page. It was very like shoot in, but I thought it was very cool seeing how um he wanted to make something for a very small community. That is one point I will give to Godfrey. 3. If I had to think of one thing that made Bloxcity kind of memorable was its cast of characters on the forums. When I was 14, I could still count most of those characters, but the only people I remember from this time was Bill, who was a military guy, and a few other people who I don't remember the names, but one had a split personality, one was the devil, and then one was really, really rich. One other character I do remember the name, though, now that I think about it, was Tetris. He was really cool since he knew how to make animations, and in return made animations about Bloxcity, which included the people. He would later become known as the co-owner of Brick Hill. 4. The hats were weird. They mostly ripped off Roblox hats. The ice crown looked like a flesh balloon, and the Dominus was quite literally like the meme where the guy gets scammed by some UGC. 5. At one point I had a snakeskin fedora that only like 2 people had, and that made me feel very special because it was very rare. And trading existed on the website because of course there'd be trading before games, so I was trying super hard to keep my swag. I think I traded it away at one point because I wanted to quit. I remember regretting it immediately afterwards. 6. According to my archive, I made at least like 30 shirts and pants on Bloxcity. The format was mostly similar to Roblox's, so the designs were really, really terrible. 7. I remember having a dream that the games finally released, and we all spawned in this giant gray box, and we were all freaking out about the release of games. And then I remember waking up. Hey, the first previews of the games looked like this. And then a video released of said game where the skybox was Donald Trump. It had no animations. It had no physics. I'm pretty sure he faced through the skybox too. 9. There were 2 inside jokes I remember that originated from the lack of games. There was always promises that games were being released soon on a specific date, and then on the day of, they would be delayed. And because of that, one joke came out where this was probably one of the excuses that Godfrey was in the shower. Um, that was the meme, that he was in the shower. I don't I don't know how to describe how funny that is. And then the second one was just the word soon with a trademark symbol right next to it, and that wasn't even original. 10. I remember hearing about this shortly after it happened. Some people said it was a car crash, but it's not within my right to assume. I didn't know him, other than the small talks we had on Bloxcity messages, which is long gone. But I did know of him to the point where it was the first time I ever experienced someone who I talked to online die. I always assumed that when someone stopped talking to you, they were just doing something else. They were living a better life. But to think about how you can read the text of somebody who's no longer there, written by the hands like yours, who are no longer on this plane of existence, fucking terrified me. And the thing about that is that I'm pretty sure shortly after, one of my technology teachers from when I was in sixth grade, he died as well. That was more personal. I remember on the final day of me having him, we had this project where we had to make a those little like catapults, and we had to like land them into this trash bin. And I was the last kid to try and do that, and I kept doing it, and I kept failing, and I remember being so distraught over that. He allowed me to do one last shot when everyone already left, and as the bell rang, that was when my little paper thing I was supposed to catapult finally went into the trash bin. I thought that was really awesome, and he gave me so much support as a kid. The way I can compare that to Tetris is that both my teacher and Tetris cared about something that seemed so small but still impacted somebody. I would have passed the class I was in either way if I made the shot or not. But my teacher still took out a time of his day to make me happy. And I'm not sure if Tetris made videos specifically to make people happy, but it definitely did, to my memory. Block City, now Brick Planet, is really never gonna outpace its reputation as a quote unquote Roblox ripoff. I'm pretty sure Godfrey, now known as Isaac, is frequently bombarded by kids and teens who only know him for a Roblox hacking event from 14 years ago. Only God knows if he cares about Block City's past. But the beginnings of Block City somehow resonated with people like Tetris, it somehow resonated with people like me, and a good chunk of players who encountered the project over the course of 2016. It was effectively a child's playground, and a good chunk of the people I mentioned earlier probably don't even remember it anymore. But I do. I don't know why. Over the course of these 10 years, I have remembered the date it released, March 6th, 2016. I don't know if that's to say that Block City was important. It was at one point in my life, yeah, but I moved on, presumably, to other communities. But still, my brain remembered that the date meant something to me, that I actually cared about it, and people like Tetris did too. Sometimes I look at Tetris's videos. He only made two, and they were both for two separate video contests. First video was him going to the store, a wizard giving him $1,000, and then getting mugged right after. But the second one was about the games, the hypothetical that the entire community was dreaming about, and Tetris included the entire community and their small jokes in the process of making that video. I think the fact that he cared and enjoyed so much about a platform that effectively just tried to copy Roblox is to me evident to say that a lot of things matter, even if it's very small. The small impact you can have on someone's life can be as small as a push of, hey, you can still shoot this paper from this catapult you made into this trash bin even after the bell rang. It could be as small as making two videos for a contest for fake virtual coins that don't exist anymore. Any small game on the internet can change the way you see things, both good and bad. A community, too, can make you learn a lot of things. And it's okay to forget an experience you didn't like, but the feelings that I felt during Block City, even if I don't remember the memories, was probably something I'm happy that I experienced. I'm happy I got to at least talk or know of someone like Tetris, even momentarily. Because then at the end of the day, we all end up like, you know, all that matters is what you learn and do with that time you have, even if it's on the internet. And I think that's okay.